Deep in Southern California's desert inland empire, amid the blazing sun and barren sands, thrives a rare rose of boxing talent. A junior welterweight champion and the pride of Palm Springs. This is Ring Life with Timothy Desert Storm Bradley.
27 years old, born and raised right in Palm Springs, California. The kind of area that I grew up in was, a tough area. In Palm Springs, everybody thinks that, it's all glamorous, it's all rich or whatever. No, there's, any place you go to, there's always a bad area. And one of those areas is North Palm Springs. Lots of gangs, lots of, violence, lots of drugs. Kind of got drawn into it a little bit due to the fact that, I had that thug mentality, man. I used to just go around and just try to cause problems. If I seen myself, 20 years ago, I would definitely hit that kid in the mouth for everybody. What ended up happening was boxing. Boxing just completely 360 my whole life.
He's not just an ordinary fighter. Since day one that we started training, I knew there was something special about him, and I knew that he could go far. He has no limit to training.
This kid's a workaholic. He loves working out. He never stops.
I run that extra mile just because I know my opponent's not. I feel that he's not.
When we go to a fight, we left the hardest part behind.
The fight is won in the gym. It gives me more confidence for the fight. I didn't cut any corners. I train hard every single day. I didn't slack off not one day. How is this guy gonna beat me? How is this guy gonna stop me? Yeah. Like everything that I've worked for is finally here.
I think he appreciated it, but he always had a humble beginnings. He always stayed humble about it. Money was very tight at the beginning. I mean, Tim had to work. He's working as a service waiter and stuff. I was just doing, Inland Empire, just ballroom fighting. And I mean, we were living just pretty much paycheck to paycheck, just struggling. It was real tough. It was real tough. But like I say, when a man's determined, he's going to do whatever he got to do to get the job done. So I mean, that's what kept the fire in me. I was like, if I get my opportunity, there's no beating me. They can't win. They cannot win. Well, the fight that changed everything was the Witter fight. I was like, man, that's a lot of money, That's a lot of money. If they're going to pay me this amount of money to fight, My bank account was probably at, like, negative. I couldn't be denied. Either your family gonna eat, his family gonna eat, or my family gonna eat. And my family gonna eat. You gonna have to seriously put a butt whooping on me to take food off my table. I'm serious.
You're gonna have to take him out on a stretcher in order for him to lose.
One of the strong things about Tim as an individual and as somebody who now has some fame in the boxing world is he's still the small town guy that everyone has always known.
He's the same, as a person, he's still the same guy since I met him.
One of the great things that he's been able to do just on his own is get involved in youth sports activities and with our elementary schools and our high schools and encouraging kids to make good decisions.
He's got that football thing. That's his religion right now. They're in season. They got their Super Bowl coming up.
I'm the president of Junior All-American in Cathedral City. We call ourselves the Little Lions. And so I spend a lot of time out there on the field with the kids, inspiring the kids.
It's just him. He wants to give back to the community. That's his way of, giving back. He's a hell of a guy to 363 days a year. The other 2 nights that he fights that year, don't want to be on the other side of that ring, because that heart of gold turns into a heart of stone. It's cold, hard, and it's coming at you. After my fights, when my hands are raised, they call my name, and the emotion that I have, it's from everything that I'm telling you guys right now. Everything, all that emotion just comes out because I feel like I have to protect that, and when I win, it's like a relief. And so it's just a burst of energy coming out like, we still here, we still done it, we won, ain't no stopping us. Ain't no stopping us, And, it's just a big relief, relief off my back. So all that rage is just like, yes, we did it. We did it.
Manny Pacquiao is the current king of the boxing universe, arguably the greatest boxer on the planet. But before he reached such stratospheric heights and enjoyed all the fame and fortune that comes along with such success, he was just a kid, with little to nothing but family, growing up in an impoverished region of the Philippines. This is Ring Life. Manny PACQUIAO.
When I was young, my family is very poor and we don't have money to buy food, and that's why I decided to enter in boxing. I was thinking that how I can make money to help my parents. When I turned pro, I was 16 years old. From the beginning, I'm not a good fighter. I don't have natural talent, but I have a determination to win the fight.
While fierce determination would help him overcome a lack of natural ability, that same determination would lead him to seek a better life in America, where he would meet someone very special, someone that would help to shape and guide a kid no one had ever heard of, and make him into a world champion.
I met Manny PACQUIAO one day about 12 years ago. He walked into my gym and they said they heard that I was pretty good on the mitts, and they asked me if I'd do a session with Manny. He was very, very explosive. He could punch. The quickness and the timing of the shot was just perfect. It was like gunfire every time, just that pop every time he hit my mitt. And after one round, I went over to my corner and said, wow, this kid can fight. And he went to his manager and said, we have a new trainer.
It's hard to imagine Manny PACQUIAO ever being an underdog. But before he became a household name, it took a lucky break and an impressive performance to put his name on the map.
A fighter named Lidwaba, the most feared 122-pounder in the world at the time from South Africa, was getting ready to defend his title, and the opponent got injured, and Manny was the next available opponent.
And the odds is like 10-1.
Lidwaba was like a 30 to 41-1 favorite. I knew I had something. And I told these guys, watch my new guy. It was such a big line they wouldn't even put it on the board. So I couldn't get a bet off on that fight. But
I win that fight, and then nobody knows me here in the States.
Oh, he started opening eyes right away with that fight because he beat the best guy out there. 8 world titles later, here we are.
The most important fight in my career is the De La Hoya fight, and we just, joking each other. Oh, how about Oscar De La Hoya and Manny PACQUIAO? Yeah, okay. What is that? It's a basketball game or what?
Everyone thought we were way too small. Oh, Oscar was just gonna blow him away.
It's like impossible in boxing because De La Hoya is, it's so big compared to Manny PACQUIAO.
It was just like, after the first punch landed, I said, it's over.
PACQUIAO's speed is a riddle he has not been able to solve.
You can't handle your speed, son.
Manny PACQUIAO is annihilating Oscar De La Hoya.
This is getting embarrassing.
Manny PACQUIAO has beaten Oscar De La Hoya.
By the time that I beat Oscar De La Hoya, that I can fight more bigger than me.
Since then, I know he's dominated so many different weight divisions and so many bigger opponents that he was supposedly going to be too small for.
It all started with a kid in the Philippines, fighting for a $2 payday to buy food for the family. Now that fighter sits atop the entire boxing world. And while no one knows where his future will lead, his status as one of the greatest boxers of all time will never be in question.
We don't have too many more challenges out there. If Mayweather doesn't come to the table, where else are we going to go? Hopefully it will happen. And then I'd love to see Manny retire after that fight, because that'd be the icing on the cake. Where else could we go? There's no upside after that.
Only God knows what is tomorrow for me and for my future. And I always live my life like every day is the last, because I know what is tomorrow for my future and my life.
When he retires, he'll be my favorite fighter of all time to train. If someone asked me who's the best. I've had some great fighters in my day and so forth, but relationship-wise and person-wise, Manny Pacquiao is definitely the best guy out there.